good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. Hope everyone is having a great day today. It is yet another day of joint practices between the Miami Dolphins and the Chicago Bears. I hope everyone had a fantastic Thursday. We're going to get into it. We got a bunch of videos to go over. We also have a bunch of articles to go over. We're going to go over some of the timelines, the Twitter timelines from Travis Wingfield, Bears reporter, et cetera, et cetera. So we get all perspectives out there for you guys, and you can make your own judgment on how the day went based on what you saw. I just finished. I'm a little late tonight because I finished recording the Finish line with Ball Game and Richmond. That will be coming. That should be coming out in the next few days. All right. So shout out to everyone. Already got 111 of you in the comment section. Appreciate each and every one of you coming out. As usual, if you'd like to donate to the channel, paypal.me/Phinside. If you'd like to join the Patreon, I put up some exclusive information about Liam Eichenberg and Jakeem Grant yesterday. So there's the link to the Patreon, patreon.com/Phinside, the NFL. As usual, I want to shout out each and every one of my Patreons. We're now up to 72 of you. So I appreciate all of you guys. Again, if you are a Patreon and a new Patreon, and you have not been modded, because mod status does come with joining the Patreon, talking to Finn Shady 1313. I know Z-Man, he's usually here, so I'll get him taken care of. But Derek Batten, Devon Green, Mitchell Gordon, Guy Corner. If you guys could talk, and same with Anthony Giandoletti Jr. If you guys could make yourself, Daddy Dean as well, if you guys could make yourself known, then I can make sure you guys are modded and taken care of. You just got to comment in the comment section of a live stream, and then I can make you a mod. All right. So as usual, shout out to each and every one of the Patreons. Rhino Sith, Fake Spike 94. Obviously, Rhino Sith was the first Patreon that we ever had on this channel. So hope Rhino's doing good right now. I know he's been real busy with work and stuff like that. But anyways, Todd Labruto, KL Day, Ramon Casillas, Seth, Slim Pickens, Marino's Goat, Keith Davis, your boy Trev, Josh, Jazz 803, Martin, Zo Vegas, the Arkham Elf, Irving, Drew Boo, The Show, Jawar Thompson, Jeff Jackson, Andre Villarreal, J Love T, and then continuing on with the rest of the Patreons. I'll give you guys a shout out here. The Enigmatic Man, Georgia Boy 23, Florida born, Kentucky grown, Michael Rodriguez, Dennis Klassen, Philip Leduc, Tommy Flores, Ron Levy, Marino Ron, Anthony J. Marine, Brett Potvin, Joe Crotwell, Rhonda, Logan 15, Just Keep Waddling, Justo, Robert Martin, Regil, Kyle Bow. Kyle, I got to make him a Patreon too. Sorry, a mod. Drip Entertainment, Anything's Possible, Troy, Nelson Alfonso, Ernesto Gonzalez, Rafael Lopez, Franklin Lejeune, Timothy Sapinenza, Dylan Tataro, Brendan Smith, David Figley, Miami Fan 113, Fins 1, Quentin Martin, Ryan Williams, Mauricio, Zachary Greenhall, Robbie T, Daddy Dean, Brian Terry, Anthony Giandoletti, Joe Levesque, Jose Valdez, Junior Ronaldo, Guy Corner, Mitchell Gordon, Devon Green, Dennis Klassen, Derek Batten, Zachary, aka Z-Man, and Finn Shady. If you are in the comment section right now and you have not been given mod status, please go ahead and comment so I can take care of you. And I can make you a mod, because that's one of the perks of being a Patreon to this channel. Also, you can go ahead and you can become a member of the channel. Just look below me right next to subscribe. There should be a join button. You can click on that. You get usage of emojis. You get a badge next to your name. And like the Patreons, You will also get early access to when I do my film studies and stuff like that. So I've also got a couple video ideas. It's gonna be exclusive to members and patrons, like first release to you guys. So yeah, so there's the benefits. It also helps out when I get copyright strike for some of the videos I do when they come in. So okay, hold on a sec. I got a couple people I got to take care of before I shout out all my members. So I want to make sure, because I see Derek showed up and stuff like that too. So let me just take care of modding certain people, right? Oh, there you go. Y'all coming out, appreciate it. Quentin Martin, there you go. Let me just take care of. Hold on a sec, guys. I'm just making sure everyone's taken care of. I know I'm missing someone here. Because I just saw Timothy. Are you taken care of? Yeah, you are. Okay, there's someone else. Oh, Derek Batten. There you go. Derek Batten. All right. So I think that's everyone who's shown up, who's actually a Patreon. Again, if you're a Patreon, comment right now, and then I can take care of you and I can give you your mod status. All right. Anyways, continuing on. Let's keep it rolling. Shout out to all the members of the channel. Damien Deese, MFins1, Seth, Twizzle, Law 10442, Timothy Whiteman, Yawa Bulla, Bruce 1, Foxing Around, Dr. Draft, Timothy, Saponenza, Nico, Kumo, appreciate you, homie. One of my day ones. My T Dolphin, Fake Spike 94, Jazz 803, D Ray 91, Tilly Flips, Marcus 84, Ty Rhodes, Florida born, Kentucky grown, SC 42, Cody Patron, The Show, Jonesy Fins Nation, Kevin Williams, Rhonda, Philip Leduc, Zachary Harris, Dennis Class and Powerhouse, Thunder Cleus, Birdman, 100 Ante, Ramon Casillas, Marino's Goat, Michael Simmons, Ron Levy, Chad Marcion, Tony Marine, Barry Bailey, DC, Rich the homie, Richmond Webb, Furious, K all day, Rhino Sith, Irving, Julian, Scorpion King, Ty Jenkins, Whale One, Innes Campbell, Mari, Fred Rivera, Justin Dunker, Cash, Zanny Jinzo, your boy Trev, Caddyshack, Fins Forever 72, Storm Warrior, D Hug All Day, Daryl Canup, Big Time 666, Wayne Hedgeman, Quint Riddle, Takumazi, Takumakia, Harriet Clement, Canadian Fins Gone Wild, Todd Beards, Pierre Lewis, James Steele, Dolphin Don, Jeremiah Kelly, Fins for Life, Big John Stud, Corn 72, Chef Jew, Tommy, Robert Martin, Tony Yasawa, Sinatra 305, Ricky Butts, Joel Fields, Daddy Dean, BK2 All Day, Dylan, Hanaho Tuamin, Ramon Elertondo, A Turner 05, Serge, Chocolate on Straw, Rafael Ferrero, Sherrod Ford, Miami Fan 113, James Jordan, twice over, Ivan Ulysses, Josh Tito, Logan 15, Soa Powell, Joe Levesque, Robert Taylor, Jose Valdez, Big Spence 87, DM, Rock Hawkins, Frank Lejew, Kyle Bow, and Simone Sniper 13, as well as Esteban Santana. Appreciate each and every one of you, all of you. I mean, just hit the like button. There's already 234 of you in the room. Just hitting the like button is enough, man. So, no, Timothy, I haven't mentioned Fantasy League yet, but I will be dropping that soon for all of you. So that info will be coming within the next few weeks. So, yeah, be out on the lookout for that. It'll be coming. So, don't fret. I'll be doing that real soon. That info will be coming for all of y'all. All right. All right. And just for all of you guys, Patreons that are mods, just remember to actually stay a mod, you have to stay a Patreon. So just so you know. All right. 230 of you in the room. Let's get it rolling here. finishing up the house cleaning. Patchvibes.com. Use code Phinside to save 20% off of your order. Also, Backroom Collection. Use code Reason to save 10% of your order. And I got a new sponsor coming. I'm just finalizing through email over the last couple of days with them. So that'll be coming. What's up, Derek? Hope you're doing well, bro. All right. So let's get into everything because we got a lot to cover. And I will say this, while I was recording the finish line, I also have I'll be making an announcement on Twitter, I think tomorrow. I have also another new podcast coming, but that'll be audio only, and it'll be me and the homie Neil Driscoll. So that'll be coming too. The content keeps coming for me. So I'll have the finish line with Ball Game, Richmond Webb, and then I'll have this new podcast that we've already named. It's going to be called Fin Too Deep, and it's going to be me and Neil Driscoll. That'll be coming as well. And then obviously I'll still be doing the Phinside, the NFL. So a lot of content coming for people. So you already know what it is, man. No one works harder than me, man. Hardest worker in the room, baby. So let's get into this. Now that everything is taken care of, we can get into the news and everything like that. All right. So what we're gonna do is we'll go over the articles, and then I'll go over some Twitter feeds for y'all. Then we'll show some highlights, and then we'll open it up to you guys. We're also going to talk, because it's going to come up in one of the articles. We're going to talk about Ryan Fitzpatrick and Old Man Gailey today too, so be ready for that. All right. So, and like I said, I was watching a bit of the Patriots game while I was doing the finish line tonight, and man, Mac Jones had a nice throw that should have been caught for a long touchdown, but the announcers, the way they are jockeying Mac Jones, I just couldn't watch it anymore. It was unbelievable. So, but I turned it off about 20 minutes ago, so I haven't been watching it. All right, let's keep it rolling. Let's go. Here is the Palm Beach Post. We got two things from Palm Beach Post. All right, so here are the live training camp reports from the Palm Beach Post today. The Dolphins and Bears will go at it on the practice field for a second time on Thursday, and the Palm Beach Post has you covered. Coach Brian Flores said rookie Liam Eichenberg has an injury and will be out Thursday after not finishing on Wednesday. So there's your answer. Liam Eichenberg wasn't actually benched. He was taken out due to an injury. So good to hear that he wasn't benched because of poor play. Bad to hear that it's an injury. Hopefully he recovers soon. Solomon Kindley took Eichenberg's spot at left tackle, and Kindley had himself a day today. Flores said Will Fuller, Devontae Parker, Albert Wilson, Brandon Jones will not practice. Rookie pass rusher Jalen Phillips is ramping up his work in the return from an injury. Flores noted that because of the turbulent weather that can pop up in South Florida during the season, it's helpful to have an hour or so delay in the Chicago area on Wednesday. Flores got in between Allen Hurns and Teez Tabor on Wednesday. Flores said, I was the bouncer on that play. Here are some things we noticed in Lake Forest. Jalen Phillips not spotted at the Dolphins practice yet. Earlier, Brian Flores says they'll ramp it back up. Vince Beagle was in a walking boot today, so that's not good. A Bears linebacker jumped on top of Adam Shaheen and was jawing in his face. Salvin Ahmed, and it was actually Khalil Mack, and Adam Shaheen got into it today. Salvin Ahmed showed quick burst on an outside run. Gesicki had what would have been a leaping TD catch from Tua, but it was broken up at the last second. I heard Gesicki was like celebrating and it got broke up. Adam Shaheen caught a touchdown pass from Tua. He thought about dunking on the goalpost, but changed his mind at the last moment. There was a minor scuffle involving Eric Rowe and Bears tight end Cole Kmet. Michael Dieter, Robert Hunt, Austin Jackson had some pretty solid reps against the Bears defensive line in one-on-one drills. Solomon Kindley and Jesse Davis had a few reps that weren't quite as good. Kindley had a tough day in general. Now, when I go through the feed today, he opened up some holes. So I guess it was kind of a, good moment, bad moment type of day. Tagovailoa connected with Gesicki on a long pass. Tua fired a laser on a slant to Robert Foster. He's so assertive and confident on quick passing plays. Jakeem Grant dropped what would have been a tough long catch from Tua. Tua just dropped one in the bucket to Jalen Waddle. Nice pitch and catch for a medium range completion. Tua and Myles Gaskin had a fumble on an exchange and goal line offense. Tua was intercepted on a short pass into the end zone intended for Jakeem Grant. Now that intercepted pass, we'll get into it. He hit Jakeem Grant in the hands, and Jakeem Grant bobbled the ball up into the air, and then it got picked off. So context with that one, right? Continuing on here, just continuing on with the Palm Beach Post. I just wanted to show you, go over this article with you guys here. It's about the Khalil Mack and Adam Shaheen thing. So let's look at that quickly before we go on to other publications. Khalil Mack took Adam Shaheen to the ground in joint practice on Thursday, and the two tangled up and then shouting at each other. Guys talking, Shaheen said that's going to happen. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just him. It was back and forth. It's going to happen now. It's going to happen in a game. Shaheen is a tight end for the Dolphins who played his first 3 years of his career with the Bears. There appeared to be no love lost between the two and some other Bears players as well. Mack is one of the most intimidating players in the NFL. To Shaheen's credit, he did not back down. Also, to Shaheen's credit, he was one of Miami's offensive bright spots on Thursday. Guys, if you didn't see me on Twitter, I'm going to tell you right now. We'll talk about the play. Tua rifled one into Shaheen Grant, like threaded it between two defenders. Guys, rumor has it the pass was so good that Adam Shaheen is now fully vaccinated without even knowing it. So there you go, an anti-vaxxer. Your quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, threw a pass so good that he's now fully vaccinated. Shout out to the homie Tua. Actually, Miami's top two tight ends, Shaheen and Mike Gesicki, each performed well when targeted by Tua Tagovailoa. He said, I think right now we're earning those reps, earning those targets, earning those opportunities. I think if we keep showing and doing what we've been doing, there's no reason we can't be even better than we were last year, which I think is one of the top 5 tight end groups in the league as far as production. After Shaheen caught a long touchdown from Tagovailoa, he was a bit fired up. And, you know, he was about to prepare to launch for a dunk over the goalpost, but Shaheen had a second thought, pulling up and turning back. He's like, there's a little downside, but my feet got tangled up. And I thought, you know what? I might as well just run this one back. That's why I didn't even jump. There was a little pocket in the earth. Shaheen avoided any chance of injury, which is smart, considering the first 3 years of his career as a Bear were pockmarked by repeated injury. That's good. They're the word of the day, pockmarked. Tagovailoa had his moments. He completed a long pass to Gesicki. He continued to fire accurate slants to players like Robert Foster. Tua dropped one perfectly in Jalen Waddle's breadbasket, but Tua also had a bad exchange with Myles Gaskin on a handoff near Chicago's goal line. He was intercepted on a short pass in the end zone intended for Jakeem Grant. Miami's offensive line had its share of difficulties against a very strong and powerful Bears front seven. Because rookie left guard Liam Eichenberg was sidelined by injury, Solomon Kindley took a spot. It was an uneven performance. Kindley said he's continuing to work on his hand placement and base. It seems Kindley's run blocking is still ahead of his pass protection at this time. Tagovailoa, it should be noted, continues to practice without injured wide receivers Will Fuller, Devontae Parker, and Albert Wilson. This should provide a big opportunity on Saturday for wide receivers like Jalen Waddle, Matt Collins, Grant, and Allen Hurns, and also tight end Shaheen and newcomer Ethan Carter. Shaheen feels more comfortable than he did after being traded from the Bears to the Dolphins during training camp last season. He says, I think it's huge. Also being with that group for the whole year last year, it's building those relationships and that trust. The sky is the limit for our group. You know, that's another thing people need to realize too with these practices. You know, 3 of his top 4 targets, because you can add Jalen Waddle into that, are not playing right now. So when those guys return, then we can get an actual gauge on where this offense is. But right now, without DVP, without, you know, Albert Wilson, especially Will Fuller, I mean, you know, those guys matter. Those aren't jabronis. Those guys legitimately matter. So, you know, we'll get a better gauge on where this offense is. Right now, Gage, you know, I talked to Richmond about this on the podcast today. the good thing right now with the offensive line is they're getting more reps. The ones are getting more reps against the Bears ones than they will in the preseason game, just like they will next week against Atlanta. They'll get more reps against Atlanta's one than they will in the preseason game against Atlanta. So it's a good get. Well, I mean, they should have no problem with Atlanta's front seven next week. Let's be honest with ourselves. But it's good to gauge where this offensive line is at right now against the front seven. And by all accounts today, they rebounded today. They look better. And, I tweeted out this morning. I'll tell you guys exactly what I tweeted out this morning. We were all looking for a rebound day for this offensive line, and we kind of got it in a way. So what I tweeted out this morning was very simple. Today's a big day. Looking for the O-line to bounce back. Bears front seven is elite, so I don't expect to win every rep, but show improvement and a willingness to rebound from a tough outing. Unless he's hurt, and he ended up being, put Liam back out there to learn and push through his struggles. I also think Tua will feast if the O-line has a much better day than it did yesterday. They put in the work post-practice to see what they had to clean up. Here's hoping they translate it to the field. Now, there still were uneven reps for the offensive line today, but at the end of the day, the fact that they got punched in the mouth yesterday and then they came back out today and they came out and they responded a little bit after getting punched in the mouth. That's good. That's learning. So I mean, that's a positive. You can't say anything more than that's a positive. So let's get into the Miami Herald here. So let's just hope they continue to grow a little bit here. So apparently Tua was just absolute money in red zone today too. Quarterback Ryan against the Bears. Quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick is, and this is where we'll get into this, because this is what starts off the Herald's article. Quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick has been gone from the Dolphins for 7 months, but he still apparently can't get over the Dolphins replacing him with Tua Tagovailoa last season. I have a ton of respect for Brian Flores, and we have a very good relationship, Fitzpatrick told The Athletic in a Thursday piece about his career. But I thought it was a joke at first. We're putting Tua in. I was floored. Fitzpatrick was replaced after 2 strong performances in 2 games with the team at 3-3. Offensive coordinator Chan Gailey got off the NyQuil, came out of the retirement home, and decided to open his mouth today, who left the Dolphins following the season, told The Athletic that he too was in total shock. We didn't even have a preseason. It was a totally new offense for Tua. We were just starting to hit our stride. We'd won 2 in a row and scored a bunch of points and moved the ball well. It came as a shock to me. Fitzpatrick then said, that was my team. I fought through the shit with those guys. I get the way that the NFL works. I get it. But to have it happen the way it did. Per The Athletic, when the Dolphins returned to practice, Fitzpatrick says he tried to downplay his displeasure. As teammates voiced their frustration, he insisted it was their duty to help Tagovailoa in any way he could. Fitzpatrick has praised Tagovailoa publicly this offseason, and the two have a good relationship. Per The Athletic, Gailey said he chose to bench Tua late in the Denver and Las Vegas games was a byproduct of Fitzpatrick's knowledge of the Miami's 2-minute offense. All right. Before we get into the Herald talking about practice, let's talk about this for a sec, okay? Ryan, you are like the ex-girlfriend we broke up with, and you just cannot move on with your life. All of us have moved on with our lives, okay? Why are you still talking about it? And all you're doing is proving my point. Ryan, you were in business for yourself last season. You cannot fool me worth a good goddamn, all right? I was told Flores approached you. You're the one who suggested Shane Gailey when basically told we're going to be drafting a young quarterback, any offensive coordinators you can suggest. You're the one who suggested him, and he never had a track record of developing young quarterbacks, but you suggested him. Why? Because that's your boy, and you wanted to extend your own personal shelf life for your career. You didn't have whomever the quarterback was to be drafted that ended up being Tua. You didn't have their best interest in mind. You had only your interest in mind. Now, it's even more clear after old man Gailey's now opening his mouth why he was not involved in the meeting because Gailey did not sit on the meeting with Fitzpatrick and Tua when they told them they were changing quarterbacks. And it's been reported he didn't find out about the change until it hit the media. So they didn't even let him know. Why? Because that was his boyfriend. Like we got these butt buddies over here. Okay. And, there's so much emotion involved between the two that we can't even let our offensive coordinator in on personnel decisions. That's how badly they identified the emotions would be involved here. All right? Like, shut your mouth, both of you. Move on with your life. Gailey, enjoy life on retirement. Kick your lazy boy back. Get your little seltzer drink in your hand. Turn on Wheel of the Fortune and shut your damn mouth. Okay? Fitzpatrick, you're the starting quarterback in Washington. You have a chance to win that division. Why are you still worried about what we're doing over here in Miami? All right? You're like a ex-girlfriend coming back and saying, "Oh, I miss you. Oh, I can't believe you dumped me." Move on with your life. You sound like a teenage girl. It's ridiculous. Okay? And I'm not going to be one of these people out here like fawning over you and what you did for us. I could care less. You washed that right out of the window when you showed your true colors, okay? And that's all you've done to me. You've shown what you truly are. You're a bitter ex-girlfriend. That's the best way to explain Ryan Fitzpatrick right now. Move on with your life, bro. Okay? It's embarrassing to see you still talking about us, okay? Like, you knew they were going to make the move. They drafted this kid fifth overall. What did you think? They were just going to ride it out with you at 3-3? Hey, a lot of us thought the move wasn't going to come. I said when it happened, I was shocked they made the move because they came after 2 wins. But guess what? We all understood it. They drafted the guy 5th overall. What did you think was going to happen? Give me a break. Unbelievable, man. You're like 2 grumpy old men. Like, back in my day, they didn't bench you for number 5 overall pick. They gave you the benefit of the doubt and rode you out. Shut your mouth, Fitz. Goodbye. Get your ass out of here. Sorry you're not retiring here. We've moved on with your life. You need to move on with your life because it's absolutely sad at this point, all right? Jesus. Continuing on. As for Tagovailoa, he had a strong start to Thursday's joint procession with the Bears, but a somewhat shaky finish. Early on, he unleashed touchdown passes to Jakeem Grant and Adam Shaheen in red zone drills. The Shaheen pass, a 15-yarder, was perfectly placed by Tagovailoa against a close Bears defender. Another potential Tagovailoa touchdown pass to Mike Gesicki was knocked out of Gesicki's hands at the goal line, but Gesicki later made a great one-handed catch, his second such catch in training camp. Tagovailoa delivered a bunch of well-thrown completions to Grant, Jalen Wall, and others, and he had 2 good runs when the pocket broke down. But he was short on a deep throw to Grant, who came back to try and make the catch and then dropped it. Later, Tagovailoa and Myles Gaskin muffed a handoff, and the Bears recovered the fumble. And then Tagovailoa threw an interception on a ball that bounced off Grant's hands. Jeez, that sounds familiar. But Tagovailoa came back with a touchdown pass to Robert Foster very late in team drills. Tagovailoa finished with that one interception in 2 days. The Waddle had to knock away one potential interception that was just out of his reach to be able to catch. Tagovailoa continues to show good leadership. "Quote unquote," Tua said he loves us. That's all we need, Solomon Kindley said. More highlights from the second and final day of joint practices in Lake Forest, Illinois. Salvin Ahmed broke a tackle for a nice run. Myles Gaskin continues to impress this camp. He showed an impressive burst on a run up the middle. Malcolm Brown had at least 2 touchdown runs, 1 for 10 yards. Adam Butler and Andrew Van Ginkel had tackles for loss. And Raekwon stopped a run for no gain. Emmanuel Ogbah and Christian Wilkins had sacks. Justin Coleman, the Dolphins' first-team nickel cornerback all camp, broke up a pass in the end zone. Safety Eric Rowe had a nice pass breakup. Bears rookie quarterback Justin Fields had some success against the Dolphins secondary. Dolphins cornerback Tino Ellis dropped a potential interception. Okay, before I continue on, just so everyone knows, Justin Fields did not work. I know Justin Fields had a good day today. Everyone's talked about it. But and hey, do the research. Last year on TD Fins Talk, in 2019 on TD Fins Talk, I was the one gassing Justin Fields up. Me. All right. I know EM pushed back a little bit. EM spoke privately. Hey, I might have to owe you a public apology for how good Justin Fields looks. And I was also the first one in this community to put Trey Lance on the board. And it looks like those two are going to be the best this year, at least right now, just based off camp impressions. Justin Fields did what he did today against our number 2s and 3s. Justin Fields did not work against our number 1s. So when you hear people raving about how Justin Fields looked today, remember, it was against our number 2s. He was not lighting Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, and those guys up. I want everyone to put that in perspective. Context for everything. Corn72, I hope Trey Lance doesn't start. I hope they go with Jimmy G, because if Trey Lance starts, I would not be hoping for a good pick. Trey Lance looks like the real deal. I've been telling people for 2 years he was. Just like Justin Fields looked like the real deal. I've been telling people for 2 years in this community that he is. So I don't need Trey Lance to start. All right, I need Jimmy G to start. And also, Miami Kid J, it was not against the 1s because my friend, Jersey Fin fan Steve, hit up one of the beat reporters. I'll even show you guys that. Hold on a sec. I'll even show you so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Just to add more context before we continue on here. Just so you guys have the context and you guys can see it right in front of you before we get back to the Miami Herald, because it was not against the 1s, Miami Kid J. And I will give you the proof right here from a Chicago beat writer's mouth. Second day of Bears Dolphins joint practice is now over. I spent most of the day watching the Bears offense versus Dolphins defense. Just 2 thoughts. Justin Fields was the best player on field 3. Andy Dalton's struggles were real versus the Dolphins starters. Jersey Fin fan, can you add context to field 3? What is that? The Bears and Dolphins were practicing on fields 3 and 4 of Halas Hall. Thank you. Was he playing versus the starters at all? Nope. So right there from Adam Johns, who's the Athletic Chicago beat writer. Right there. There you go. Right for you. Justin Fields was going up against the 2s and the 3s today. He was not going against the 1s. And that's right there for you from a Chicago beat writer's own mouth. So there you go. Now you know what's up. He's going up against guys like Tino Ellis and stuff. So there you go. There's exactly for you, just so there is no confusion. All right. Continuing on. Justin Coleman, the Dolphins' first team nickel cornerback off camp, broke up a pass in the end zone. Safety Eric Rowe also had a nice pass breakup. Bears rookie quarterback Justin Fields had success against the Dolphins secondary. And Tino Ellis, that's why Tino Ellis dropped a potential interception. If that was Xavier Howard, he's come down. And remember, yesterday, Justin Fields had multiple interceptions against us, right? Earlier, Rowe and Chicago tight end Cole Kmet pushed each other after a Cole reception. They had to be separated. That's a sport out there competing hard, Rowe said. Sometimes things just get chippy. I saw him catch the ball and give him a little shoulder tap, and he fell. He pushed me in the back. I wasn't even mad about it. I was just laughing. Besides the tackle for a loss, Van Ginkel also had an interception. He's a very likely starter on outside linebacker. Jason Sanders went 6 for 6 on field goals today. He's had a great camp, so he didn't miss. He missed one yesterday, if you remember correctly. Jalen Phillips, who practiced Wednesday after missing 11 days with a lower body injury, did not practice on Thursday, but the team made clear that he's being brought in at a deliberate pace. Phillips is being ramped back up after missing 10 days, Flores said. Naming conditioning purposes is one of the reasons he isn't immediately being given a full workload at practice. He's just not ready yet. hasn't had enough snaps, Flores said. That's generally how teams do it. Hopefully we'll build off of Wednesday's practice when he took some snaps and ramp him up over the course of days, weeks, etc. Even though the Dolphins are training Phillips a linebacker, defensive coordinator Josh Boyer said the team intends to use him in different roles. Phillips was in the linebacker at UCLA, but mostly a defensive end at Miami. But more context in the situation from me to you guys, the Hurricanes did use 3-4 fronts where he would play the edge, which is an outside linebacker. We'd like him to get him out there and see many things we can, Boyer said. If we can do a couple things that are end type responsibility and do a couple things that are backer type responsibility, it allows us to be multiple. You don't necessarily know what guys are going to line up play after play after play. With Liam Eichenberg sidelined with his shoulder injury, timetable to be determined. So it's his shoulder. That would explain why he was struggling holding his blocks yesterday. Kindley took first team snaps at left guard and did excellent work in the run game on Thursday. Kindley started 13 games at right guard. See, we're already hearing different than what JoeyShotz said, right? JoeyShotz said it was uneven. They're saying he was excellent in the run game. Kindley said of the move from right guard to left guard where he played at Georgia, the technique fee placement changes, but it's the same assignment. You have to really study your plays. He said he plays with grit, anger, and giving effort. We put our head down and worked and don't worry about what anyone else says. Receivers Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, and Albert Wilson, safety Brandon Jones, and tight end Hunter Long missed practice due to injuries. Even though Javon Holland had 3 interceptions in the span of 4 practice, Jason McCourty opened with the starters at free safety on Thursday. One smart thing that Holland is doing is peppering the Dolphins quarterbacks with questions to gain knowledge he needs as an NFL safety. I actually go and pick their brain a little, especially Jacoby Brissett. He said, I try to ask him because obviously Jacoby Brissett has the most experience. Before people, why did you talk to Tua? Because Jacoby Brissett's played more NFL games than Tua. I can already hear the people right now. I try to ask him what he's looking for when we're trying to show disguise and things like that. Same with Tua. Tua gives me great insight. All of them are great. Reed's in it too. They give me insight on what they're looking for and their keys so I can try and confuse them before the play. Holland broke up 2 passes during Thursday's practice, nearly intercepting one of them. He's doing a lot of good things from a fundamental standpoint, Flores said when asked about Holland's 4 takeaways in the past week, including a fumble recovery. I don't judge people off 3 or 4 plays. He's had 500 plays over training camp. Not going to judge them on 4 of them, good or bad. So there you go. That's what's up, Stevie. This guy with his yells every time he comes in. All right, continuing. Is Rome? Is Mac Jones still in right now? Let me know in the comments. All right, here is the Sun Sentinel and their thoughts. Well, Omar Kelly's thoughts on today, and I know Omar Kelly got everyone worked up today, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but what's crazy to me is if you're on Twitter, there has been, how do I say this? There's been a lot of passive aggressive stuff going on between Travis Wingfield, Omar Kelly, and Elaine Poupar. Travis Wingfield was asked today. Here, I'm actually want to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So let me bring this up before we get into the Sun Sentinel because this is kind of interesting stuff. I mean, I want people to see what's been going on today. So give me a second. Let me pull it up here because what's interesting to me too, guys, Armando is leaving the Miami Herald. He's joining like a far right wing. I guess he's joining like a far right wing outlet called Outkick. Now, I perfectly never heard of it. But he's gone. So he's joining them, and they announced it today too. But I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about here because here I'll show you. Travis took a shot, well, not a shot, but passively aggressively, went in on Omar a little bit this morning. So I want to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about here. Let me bring it up. Okay. Okay, here we go. So we'll bring this up, and let me bring up Elaine Papar's tweet so you guys can see. Because Dolphin Talks was given. Here you go. Let me find it. All right. Okay. Here we go. All right. I want you guys to see exactly what I'm talking about. All right. We'll get back to the Sun Sentinel in a sec. Okay. So this is what went down. I noticed this like first thing in the morning today. So someone hit up. Okay. So Omar Kelly said, I don't know. It's just not enough now. Okay. So someone asked Omar, I guess this was a quick question. How concerning is Tua's arm strength to you? Okay, so Omar asked, I don't know, it's just enough right now, but there's no zip on his passes, but we knew this. So Stephen Burkett said that's not what Travis Wingfield has been saying on his Drive Time podcast, and I saw plenty of zip at practice last Sunday. Travis said, this is an instance where I would harp on results. There hasn't been a ball to the outside that the defense was able to capitalize because he didn't drive it enough. It's plenty good enough. No interceptions, not even a pass breakup on such a throw. So he's kind of passively aggressively telling you that Omar Kelly isn't giving you the truth right there. So, you know what I mean? Like, he's kind of like putting it out there for you guys that I don't know what Omar's talking about. He's got plenty of zip, right? So then this happened later. And as you know, Omar and Elaine are buddies, Elaine Papar. So Dolphins talk said the Miami Dolphins offense appears to be on fire today at this joint practice with the Bears. Very good to see. Because that's kind of what Travis reported. We'll get into what he reported. That's kind of what he reported. He says it might want to get a second source on this. So you can see right now that the beat writers, okay, first of all, Josh Tolentino left. Armando left. Adam Beasley left. Who else am I forgetting? Safadine left. You know what I mean? And now Travis, it's like Travis versus Omar and Elaine Pupar right now, because that's a shot. That is a shot at Travis Wingfield right there. So it's a passive aggressive shot, but it's a shot. So I wanted to let y'all know what's going down because some of y'all don't have Twitter. So I figured I could show you guys exactly what was going down. Anyways, let's get back into the training camp. So Solomon Kindley works to resurrect starting role, stock up, stock down. So Solomon Kindley has an opportunity to shed the second season slump he appears to be in. The undisclosed injury Liam Eichenberg suffered during Wednesday's practice has opened the door for Kindley, a 13-game starter last season, to reacquaint himself with the first-team offensive line. Kindley has had a rough offseason for various reasons the team won't disclose, and it got so bad he spent a portion of last week working with the third-team offensive line. But the former Georgia standout, the Dolphins drafted in the fourth round of the 2020 NFL draft, has kept working with the understanding his time would come and eventually there would be an opportunity to prove himself. Here it is. Next man up, Kindley said, everyone is good. Doesn't matter if you're playing right side, left side, tackle, or guard. Everybody's good, so we just plug on in. We'll be there for our teammates. While Kindley struggled mightily during the one-on-one period of practice Thursday, he held his own against the Bears' physical defensive line during 11-11 reps, and that's what matters the most. When he was one of the players responsible for blocking Akeem Hicks, the Bears' forceful defensive tackle. I can always get better with my hands and my base and everything, Kindley said. But other than that, I feel like I was doing pretty good. Kindley will likely start Saturday's exhibition game at left guard if Liam Eichenberg, the former Notre Dame standout the Dolphins drafted in the second round of 2021 draft, doesn't receive medical clearance to play in the preseason's first game. And the fact that Derval Queres Neto, the player who left Rock Kindley on the depth chart last week, was held out of Thursday practice means it's possible that Kindley could be forced to play double duty from a playing time standpoint because Tyler Mars and Robert Jones, an undrafted rookie, are the only other options at guard behind Kindley unless the tackle or center is called to play guard. Kindley doesn't seem to mind. We've had a very long offseason, so I'm ready to be on TV and let my mama see me, he said. Observations from camp. The volume was turned up on the chippy nature of Thursday's joint practice, which began with tight ends and outside linebackers having to stop their one-on-one drills because of the numerous scrimmages it triggered. Then safety Eric Rowe pushed Bears tight end Cole Kmet out of bounds at the end of the first 11-11 period, and Kmet took exception to Rowe's aggressiveness and wanted to fight. Then during goal line work, Coach Brian Flores had to kick rookie offensive tackle Larnell Coleman out of the drill because the rookie kept getting into it with Bears defensive linemen. As for the action, the Dolphins offense struggled for the most of the practice, and the Bears had a more productive day against the defense than Wednesday's showing. Bears cornerback Jalen Johnson intercepted a pass. Jakeem Grant bobbled in the air and ran it out of the end zone. So Jakeem Grant, those hands are as good as ever. Grant also failed to bring in an underthrown deep pass from Tagovailoa, which could have been the biggest offensive play of the day for Miami. Grant got his body in position to catch the underthrown pass, but dropped it. See, here's my we'll get into it, but here's my problem. Right here, he says he failed to bring in an underthrown deep pass. If you go to Omar Kelly's timeline, he calls the throw hot trash from Tua Tagovailoa. That's the issue. Like, you know, call it like you see it. We don't need the color commentary. That's why people are attacking you. Anyways, Malcolm Brown seems to have carved out a role for himself as a Dolphins goal line runner, consistently skirting into the end zone for a touchdown and short runs. Christian Wilkins and Emmanuel Ogbah both produced sacks during the 11-11 period. Bears pass rusher Khalil Mack recovered a fumble exchange between Myles Gaskin and Tagovailoa on the goal line during 11-11s. Stock up. According to him, Adam Shaheen seems to be developing some chemistry with Tagovailoa, who often targets him in the red zone. Not only did Shaheen deliver a chunk yard reception for Tagovailoa during the 11-11 period, but he also scored a touchdown for Tagovailoa during the team's 11-11 red zone and goal line work. Shaheen's recent practices prove he's more than just an inline blocker for this team. Stock down, the Dolphins' defense got carved up by the Bears' quarterbacks, particularly rookie Justin Fields on Thursday, and the secondary deserved plenty of the blame. Again, context. Justin Fields went against the fucking 2s and 3s. And we just saw the Athletic reporter say Andy Dalton, and this is from a Bears reporter, Andy Dalton struggled against the starters. So the 2s and 3s might have got carved up, but it doesn't sound like the starters got carved up, if you ask me. Anyways, continuing on. Clayton Fledgelum allowed tight end Jesse James to catch a touchdown in the back of the end zone. He's not a starter. And that play simply highlights the struggles most of camp. Fledgelum, who's slated to earn $2.25 million this season and has another $250,000 per game roster bonus, could become a cap casualty if he doesn't carve out a significant special teams role. Injury update: Vince Beagle has his right foot in a walking boot, which hints he won't play on Saturday. Could be sidelined for a couple weeks. Beagle missed all of the 2022 season because of an Achilles injury he suffered on his left leg, so the other leg. Parker, Fuller, Wilson, Brandon Jones, and Hunter Long sat out practice due to their injuries. Eichenberg and Queres Neto were held out of Thursday's practice because of injuries they suffered yesterday. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Here is what Elaine Papar said today. Highlights, lowlights, and observations for the Dolphins in the second of two joint practices with the Chicago Bears at Halas Hall in Lake Forest, Illinois. Joining the list of Dolphins players not practicing Thursday were Jalen Phillips, who returned Wednesday after missing a week. Also out was Derval Queres Neto. After Coach Brian Flores said before practice that Eichenberg was out, he comes out to practice but only did a position drill early before watching the end of practice with a Gatorade towel over his head. With Eichenberg out, Solomon Kindley took his spot at the starting left guard. On defense, Jason McCourty was the first one to take first-team snaps at deep safety. Matt Collins was wearing a long Gatorade towel around his waist for the second day in a row. Shaheen got into a brief shoving match with linebacker Khalil Mack after a one-on-one blocking drill, and Mack was talking smack after the two were separated. On the next reps, Ethan Carter threw linebacker Travis Gibson to the ground, and the two later were in each other's face. This practice is shaping up to be a lot more contentious than the first one. It definitely played out that way. The first snap of 11-11 was unfortunately an indicator for what was not a particularly impressive day for the offense. On that play, Tagovailoa goes back to pass but can't find an open receiver and eventually has to scramble. Big day for Van Ginkel. Linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel was very, very noticeable in this practice, and it starts early when he meets a Bears running back at the line on 11-11 on the opposite field. AVG will bat a pass at the line of scrimmage and get pressure on Andy Dalton. Quick aside on Bears QB Justin Fields, he made some really eye-opening throws, including one early where he threw down the right sideline when rolling out to his left. Again, if Tua was working against the twos and the threes, I'm sure he'd be making those throws too. On two plays not far apart, and this is coming from a Justin Fields fan. On two plays not far apart, Jacoby Brissett took a sack. When we put it into quotation marks because the plays ended before the quarterback is hit. Next was a red zone drill that saw Tua loft a pretty touch pass, though it could have been a tad farther ahead. Down the left sideline to Mike Gesicki, who was ready to make the catch before a tease to Barr knocked the ball out of his hands. On the other field, Justin Coleman returned the favor by breaking up a pass in the Dolphins' end zone. Coleman later met a Bears running back in the backfield on a running play. The free agent acquisition seems firmly entrenched as a slot corner and has been strong all camp. Malcolm Brown was impressive running back for the Dolphins on this day because the one who consistently showed the ability to move a pile in goal line situations. Tua threw a touchdown pass to a wide-open Jakeem Grant after rolling right. Noah Benogany has had his struggles well documented, so let's give him props for some great coverage against Chris Lacey on an incompletion from Fields. Tua had about a 20-yard touchdown pass down the middle to tight end Shaheen on the play where linebacker Austin Calitro had good coverage and even might have had an interception had he even bothered to ever turn his head around instead of simply looking at Shaheen the whole way. Tua had a completion of Mac Hollins near the goal line, nullified by a holding penalty, though we couldn't make out the guilty player, and they were not announcing him. Cole Kmet caught a pass near the sideline from Andy Dalton. Rowe laid his shoulder into him and sent him to the ground. Kmet responded by shoving Rowe in the back after getting up, and that brought players from both teams together. It was the most intense of the altercations on the day, though Rowe kind of laughed about it afterward. This doesn't happen very often, but Xavier Howard is beaten by wide receiver Javon Wims in single coverage to catch a pass downfield from Andy Dalton. In a series of one-on-one pass rushing drills between Bears defenders and Dolphins offensive linemen, there were some good and bad performances by Miami. The standouts here, Jesse Davis, Adam Pankey, and Robert Hunt, while Austin Jackson and Solomon McKinley had their issues. In another 7-on-7 drill, everything Tua threw was underneath the coverage, including a low throw that Mike Gesicki couldn't catch. It's not the last time that would happen today. Starting another 11-11, Gesicki makes a catch a day when he gives us one of those pattern grabs, reaching out with his right hand to complete a reception from Tua. Tua comes back later with a nice completion to Robert Foster on a slant. Rowe makes a great defensive play to break up a long pass from Andy Dalton. Tua throws the ball away when he can't find a receiver and then badly misses with a downfield pass to wide open Jakeem Grant, who can't adjust to the underthrown ball. Now, even Omar Kelly said Jakeem Grant adjusted to the ball and dropped it. So I don't know what Elaine's watching. Wide receivers Kirk Merritt's mini slump continues as he fails to catch a low but catchable ball from Jacoby Brissett. Oh, man, don't want to see that. Manuel Ogba shines. There are sacks everywhere in the 11-11 period on both fields, with Ogba and Wilkins getting them for the Dolphins and Angelo Blackson getting one for the Bears against Tua. Cornerback Tino Ellis comes close to a spectacular interception against Justin Fields when he dives in front of the intended receiver but can't make the catch as he's going to the ground. Tua has the best throw of the day, some 15 yards to his left, when he hits Jalen Waddle on an out pattern just beyond the reach of two Bear defenders. In a goal line period, muffed handoff exchange between Tua and Myles Gaskin leaves the ball on the ground, and Mack recovers for the Bears, punctuating the play with a spike. Tua tries to hit Grant on a short slant in the end zone, but Jalen Johnson goes through Grant, tips the ball, and comes up with the interception. Again, he's saying Jalen Johnson tips the ball. Everyone else saying Jakeem Grant, it hit his hands and he bobbled it up for an interception. Grant asked officials for a defensive pass interference call, but he won't get one, even though he might have had a case. Ogba gets Dalton again for what would have been a second sack. This was a good practice for the defensive end. Tua tries a short touchdown pass to Foster, then has 2 negative plays when he's forced to throw the ball into the ground with no open receiver, and then scrambles out of the pocket before flipping the ball over the hand of Gaskin out of bounds before he meets Chicago defender near the goal line. Let's just hope a play like that never occurs in a regular season game. Gesicki goes low to catch a Tua pass in the end zone. And the first official rules a touchdown before 2 other officials come in to rule the ball had hit the ground. The Dolphins have had a hard time scoring touchdowns on this drill, while the Bears are scoring almost at will on the other side against the Miami defense, whether with Dalton or Fields at quarterback. It's another day of good work for the Dolphins against an opponent, but if we're scoring at home on the number of positive plays, it's hard not to come to the conclusion that the Bears won this practice. All right. Now, continuing on. I mean, I like there's inconsistencies that, we're seeing here, right? Like, that's the issue that I'm having. There's inconsistencies, with a lot of the things Elaine saw compared to even Omar Kelly, who I know some of y'all don't like. Like, that's my issue here. So, yeah. Brian, I know you're a Patreon, so I just took care of you and modded you. All right, brother? All right, continuing on. Let's get into the Athletic. And actually, let's get into Chicago. Yeah, let's get into the Athletic, then we'll go into the Chicago Audible. So we get into some Bears stuff here from their perspective. So let's get into it. Fields looks dirty, with that visor, man. In Chicago, the Bears preseason game against the Dolphins on Saturday will be a must-watch TV. Justin Fields' debut is setting up to be as anticipated as it gets for a fan base start for a quarterback. Fields has already proved plenty of those who watch him every day at Halas Hall. When he starts making plays, you start feeling that injury, and then that energy feeds off. Damian Williams said it's like he gives you that energy and that swag. He's making plays, it makes you want to get people behind people like that. Matt Nagy expects Fields to play into the third quarter Saturday against the Miami Dolphins after he takes over for Andy Dalton, who should get 2 series. We need to get as many reps as we can with him. The Dolphins didn't have this luxury last summer with Tua Tagovailoa. His preseason was wiped out, so he had to rely solely on training camp reps before settling in behind Ryan Fitzpatrick. As such, Saturday will be Tagovailoa's preseason debut as well. And though he said as the number 1 quarterback, his performance should still garner plenty of attention in Miami. Well, it's a first. Tagovailoa said Wednesday, this is my first joint practice. The rookie class last year, this is a lot of our first joint practices. I'm looking forward to the game. I think it's cool. Last year was a little weird for everyone, but competing with your guys and not being introduced to what game-like scenario would feel like, just kind of being into a game that first year, although I didn't play, was kind of different. The Bears and Dolphins wrapped up 2 days of joint practice at Halas Hall. Here are our news, notes, and observations for both teams. Bears offense versus Dolphins defense. Fields was a star on field 3 at Halas Hall. He ended his day going 3 for 3 in a red zone drill with the ball inside the 10 and 5 yard lines. His best completion was a lofted touchdown pass to tight end Jesse Davis over Clayton Fledglam in the corner. So there you go. No, against the 2s and the 3s. Receiver Demir Bird and running back Artavius Pierce also caught touchdown passes. Fields quickly beat a Dolphins blitz on Pierce's score. Fields also had a touchdown run on a nicely designed play that gave him options. It can be difficult to judge the success of such runs without live hitting, but Fields had space to run. His quick decision-making was impressive too. The Bears' first offense with veteran Andy Dalton under center scored twice in the same drill. It just lacked the same fireworks that Fields produced. 1 touchdown pass was from Dalton to Bird over nickelback Justin Coleman. Damian Williams also gained the edge for an untouched touchdown run. Defensive end Emmanuel Ogbah ended the drill with a sack on Dalton. Following Fields' success in the red zone drill, Dolphins defensive end Andrew Van Ginkel intercepted Dalton on a 2-point attempt. It was an impressive play amid a good day for Van Ginkel against the Bears starters. In the same 2-point situation, Fields found receiver Javon Wims in the back of the end zone for a conversion. Receiver Riley Ridley then dropped a laser from Fields on the second attempt. A bubble player in a deep position, Ridley will have to make up for it in the exhibition game, as this wasn't his only drop on the day. Before practice, Nagy said, one of the goals for Ridley should be you can't have bad days. The Bears' first team offense with Dalton struggled mightily. See, we saw a report that we just read over a report that, the first team offense was good against our defense. Now, look at the first thing there. The Bears' first team offense with Dalton struggled mightily during an early down team drill midway through practice. It included 2 tip passes at the line by Dolphins on the first 2 plays, drops by receiver Darnell Mooney and Ridley on consecutive plays, and then a sack of Dalton. Then that followed the win for the Dolphins starting defense had in the red zone against Dalton and company. One of the best highlights was Coleman's breakup on a pass to Mooney. Linebacker Bernard McKinney also had a stop on Bears running back David Montgomery. Wow. For the Bears starting offense, which was without star Allen Robinson for the second day in a row, there seemed to be more to clean up. On Wednesday, the unit was faltered in a 2-minute drill that concluded practice. The situation was 1:40 to go, fourth quarter, need a field goal, 1 timeout, and you're at the minus 40-yard line. So you're in good shape and you get a field goal there. Nagy said, we weren't successful there, but again, we used it Wednesday night to teach off of. I thought the quarterbacks did a good job of trying to understand the situation. The same applies to Fields and the second stringers. Later in the same drill, Fields was sacked by Dolphins tackle Christian Wilkins and nearly intercepted after receiver John Vea Johnson slipped. It was the only time the Dolphins came close to an interception on Fields. During Fields' first red zone drill, he passed on an open James to take a touchdown shot at receiver Chris Lacey and missed. On the next play, Fields found James for a wide open touchdown. It was the only score for the first and second offenses in the opening red zone drill. He's very poised and calm, Marquise Goodwin said of him. That's just his personality. He forgets things quick. Any mistake, or if a receiver were to drop a ball, miss a route, or if he didn't quite have a throw he would want, he's got a short memory and he just forgets and moves on to the next play. You really don't see that in young guys, especially quarterbacks who are drafted at this level, because there's so much pressure, but he seems to handle everything really well. I'm happy that he has that attitude. Fields' best throw came on the first team drill of practice. He was under pressure from Wilkins, who might have secured it. So this tells you Wilkins was working with the number 2s today, too, guys. At one point, not just the ones. Wilkins, who might have secured a sack in live action, but quickly took a few steps to his left before lofting a pass to the right. It landed perfectly in the hands of Jesper Horsted. Fields' throw elicited the first oohs and ahs from the fans. Dalton's best showing was in 7-on-7 play. He went 5 for 6 with completions to Javon Wims, who got behind Xavier Howard, Mooney, and tight ends Jimmy Graham, Cole Kmet, and Jesse James. The most aggressive play and hit came from Dolphins safety Eric Rowe. He sent Kmet flying to the ground after reception from Dalton. Kmet took exception and shoved Rowe, resulted in a dust-up. It was just a sport, Rowe said, just out here competing hard, and sometimes these things get chippy. So, the Dolphins offense versus the Bears defense. Miami's tight end stood out Thursday, especially with the team still missing 3 wide receivers. Mike Gesicki had an impressive one-handed catch on a deep cross from Tagovailoa and later caught a touchdown, plucking it inches above the turf. The referees debated whether or not it was a score. Adam Shaheen was also receiving end of a deep cross route, then had one of the Dolphins' highlights of the day in red zone drills, catching a touchdown pass over Bears linebacker Austin Calitro, which we know was thrown by Tua. Shaheen, a 2017 second-round pick of the Bears before being traded to Miami last year, went up to dunk the goalpost but decided against it. So the tight end versus outside linebacker drills generated the first set of fisticuffs when Shaheen got into it with Khalil Mack, which is certainly a questionable move by Shaheen. Later, Bears linebacker Travis Gibson and tight end Ethan Carter got after each other, and eventually the coaches ended the drill early. Gesicki appeared to beat Bears cornerback Jalen Johnson for a touchdown catch on a pretty ball from Tagovailoa, but tease Tabor closed on Gesicki and dislodged the ball as the Dolphins tight end came down. Later in practice, Tabor showed nice awareness from the safety spot. When Tagovailoa scrambled, he had one receiver covered, then was able to peel off and chase down quarterback Jacoby Brissett to force a throwaway. A second-round pick of the Lions in 2017, Tabor is showing off his versatility in an attempt to make the team. Here we'll get into that. Oh, we'll get into that highlight. Both Bears cornerbacks, Kindle Vildor and Xavier Crawford, had impressive pass breakups. Angelo Blackson had a sack of Tua. Linebacker Alec Ogletree earned some noise from the crowd when he popped Myles Gaskin. The speed of Miami's running backs was on full display when they got to the open field. Salvin Ahmed had a couple long runs, and Gaskin went off left guard for a long gain early in team drills. Notes from the one-on-one pass rush drills. Khalil Mack had the first rep and his only rep of the drill and beat Dolphins tackle Jesse Davis with an inside move. Bears defensive tackle Bilal Nichols had back-to-back wins against Solomon Kindley, putting him on skates on the first rep, then slapping him aside to rip through on the next. I've got to get better with my hands, Kindley told reporters after practice. Bears linebacker Ladarius Mack got some praise from his teammates and coaches when he used speed to blow past the tackle. Dolphins rookie offensive lineman Robert Jones did a nice job containing Blackson's rush. Bears undrafted rookie outside linebacker Charles Snowden used his quickness and length to beat Jonathan Hubbard, but Hubbard won the next rep with nice footwork. Quick hits from the Dolphins work inside the Bears' 10-yard line. Tagovailoa and Gaskin fumbled an exchange, which Khalil Mack recovered. Malcolm Brown powered through the D-line for a touchdown. Johnson got one of the Bears' takeaway bucket when he leapt over Dolphins wide receiver Jakeem Grant to intercept a Tagovailoa pass in the end zone. Grant was looking for a pass interference flag that didn't come, and Johnson returned the pick out of the end zone. On the next play, Tagovailoa found a wide open Robert Foster for a touchdown. Hicks got through the O-line to wreck Akeem Hicks got through the O-line to wreck a play action attempt. Probably would have been a sack, but Tagovailoa grounded the ball. Tagovailoa was forced to scramble to his left and appeared to try to flick the ball to the end zone, but it could have been a fumble out of bounds. It's certainly an incomplete pass. When the Dolphins attempted a shovel pass over the goal line, it was blown up in several ways. Mack had gotten through to Tagovailoa, and even if the pass was completed, Jackson was all over and I'm guessing they're meaning Eddie Jackson, was all over the intended target. So here's all the players that didn't play today. Tevin Jenkins for the Bears, Tayshaun Gibson, Danny Trevathan, Raekwon Smith, Jermaine Ifedi, Tariq Cohen, and R.D. Burns. Marquise Goodwin and Allen Robinson were limited, and Alex Bars left practice with a knee injury for the Dolphins. No Parker, no Fuller, no Wilson, no Hunter Long. Liam Eichenberg was out, as was Derval Queiroz-Noto, and so Brandon Jones missed practice as well. So Friday is a day off for both teams, and then Saturday's preseason opener will be live. I'll be reacting live to it here on Phinside the NFL on Saturday, so make sure you come check me out. All right. Now, last article before we get into training camp highlights here, play-by-plays. So this is, again, the Chicago Audible, so it's from Chicago. The Bears and Dolphins second practice at Halas Hall couldn't have been more different from the first one to begin with a weather delay, forcing fans, players, and coaches to seek shelter in the Walton Payton Center. Most fans boarded buses and were escorted back to their vehicles while the Bears and Dolphins finished practice. Thursday's practice was full of sunshine. Hardly any clouds were in the sky, and fans were in the stands. Starting to heat up. It didn't take long for the first fight to happen at Thursday's practice. And a one-on-one blocking drill against the Bears outside linebacker and Dolphins tight end on field 4, so where the starters were. Khalil Mack and former Bears tight end Adam Shaheen got into it after the rep and had to be separated. Mack wasn't done, though, and continued to talk Shaheen while coaches for both teams tried to resume the drill. Shortly after, Travis Gibson and tight end Ethan Carter began to shove each other after Carter pinned Gibson to the ground. Gibson got even with Carter later in the drill and went around him in a nice one-on-one pass rush drill. On the opposite field, Cole Kmet caught a ball, and Eric Rowe knocked Kmet off his feet, and Kmet retaliated by getting up and shoving Rowe. There was also skirmish when Jeremiah Atachu ended up on the ground in the middle of the offense and defensive lineman when the first place to run over in support was Mack, who was taking a breather on the play. In the red zone team drills against the Bears starting defense and Dolphins starting offense, it was defensive coordinator Sean Desai's unit that set the tone. The first play, Tua Tagovailoa mishandled the handoff exchange, and Mack recovered the fumble and spiked the ball into the ground. 2 plays later, Jalen Johnson intercepted Tagovailoa in the end zone on a pass that was behind the wide receiver. The defense also forced Tagovailoa out of the pocket, and the second-year quarterback scrambled towards the left sideline to flick the ball out of bounds near the pylon that easily could have resulted in safety. Fields Day. Throughout the first 13 days of camp, Justin Fields has made several plays that illustrate why the Bears moved up to select him with the 11th pick. Fields carved up the Dolphins defense. Remember, they're set 2s and the 3s in the red zone on field 3. In a 6-play sequence, Fields threw 3 touchdown passes, including a sidearm throw to Javon Wims for a 2-yard score. The rookie quarterback also ran for a touchdown himself towards the right part of the end zone. But it wasn't just in the red zone where Fields excelled. He also made several other big plays throughout practice, including a 15-yard plus throw to John Vea Johnson with 2 defenders in the area. Fields threw the ball to a specific spot, and Johnson came down to make the catch. There was also a play where Fields' patience was on full display. The offensive line gave Fields time to throw. He surveyed the field until eventually found Riley Ridley over the middle. Fields remained calm in the pocket, trusting his blocking, delivering an accurate ball. Other quick notes: Bilal Nichols had 2 dominant pass rushes in a row against Solomon Kindley. Tease Tabor dislodged the football from Mike Gesicki's hands. Charles Snowden had a win in one-on-one pass drills against Jonathan Hubbard. Snowden dipped his shoulder and went right around Hubbard. Keem Hicks forced Tagovailoa to throw the ball away into the dirt during the red zone period. Andy Dalton had one of his anticipatory throws to Demary Bird in team drills. Dalton threw to an area despite a defensive back being in the vicinity and trusted Bird would be there to make the catch. The Bears' first-team offense line created an opening for Damian Williams, and he broke off a nice run up the middle. Fields connected with a wide-open Jesse James for a touchdown. Kindle Vildor deflected a pass intended for Kirk Merritt in the end zone. All right, so let's continue with the Bears before we get into Travis and stuff. Here's from a Bears reporter: practice over at Hellas Hall, and the teams are heading to their respective areas and this is just from Twitter, guys, as day 2 and final practice versus the Dolphins ends. Some notes on what we saw. The Dolphins have some very solid DBs, and we're draping the Bears in coverage early on. I'd say the defensive advantage went to Miami easily. They played true to their coverages and did their jobs, and the Bears skill players had a hard time getting open. However, as the practice progressed, the Bears offense started to separate itself, specifically the second unit with Fields, Lacey, and Jesse James. They were getting open and making some tough catches, notably a goal line throw from Fields to James, in which Jesse James snagged it for a touchdown. Andy Dalton in the 1 did so as well with some good decision-making, anticipatory throws from him to Bird and Mooney. The defense looked to dominate on the line, holding up the Dolphins, but Tua did manage to find a few TDs with some solid decision-making as well. The defense shined in the goal line, though. A fumble and INT by Jalen Johnson highlighted today. Overall, I'd say it was an even practice. See, here's a Bears reporter. Overall, I'd say it was an even practice from both teams, with the Dolphins having the advantage in the first half and the Bears having it in the second. So we saw Omar saying that the Bears won. Or so, Elaine Papar saying the Bears won. There's a Bears reporter saying we won the first half, they won the second half. So I guess it all depends on who you want to believe, right? Continuing on here for you. Let's get into Travis's timeline for today, all right? Dolphins wide receivers on Bears DBs, 1-versus-1. Waddle puts a nasty move at the line, and the corner grabs on to slow him down, flag out. Jakeem Grant creates huge level of separation, and Tua finds him. Fantastic route. Isaiah Ford gets on top and makes a leaping catch from Brissett on a 50-50 ball. Waddle is sure putting the pressure on the DBs. Another great route for a good chunk of separation, complete from Tua. Waddle and Grant are putting on a show in this 1-versus-1 period. Xavier Howard runs a rep in 1-versus-1, and the QB doesn't throw the ball. No separation at any point. Igbenogany had a good physical rep. Wide receiver slipped trying to make his move, and the ball went over his head. Byron Jones in tight coverage on Daz Newsome, incomplete. Javon Holland undercuts the throw, extends, and gets the pass breakup. Xavier Howard in shape to get an interception, and the wide receiver interferes with him to break it up, flag out. Kyle Loxley makes a gorgeous diving catch up the sideline from Brissett. First rep of team period, Robert Hunt gets to the second level for a nice block on Gaskin run, short gain. Andy Van Ginkel comes free on a tackle for loss on the handoff. Solomon McKinley creates a hole, and Gaskin takes it for about 5. Adam Butler blows through for a tackle for a loss. Sam McGoveen checks in and gets his stuff at the line. Savon Ahmed follows a block of Larnell Coleman for a big gain. His speed won a foot race to the edge. Raekwon Davis uses a blocker to throw him into the back for no gain at the line of scrimmage. Gaskin finds a gap to create gap created by Jackson, Kindley, and Dieter for a big gain. Got past the second level of the defense without getting touched. Smooth cuts shown. Seiler, McKinney, and Holland in for a run stop. Dolphins run defense not giving an inch in the first period. First period takeaways. Dolphins defense stout. The run game found its footing. Not a lot through the air for either squad. Run heavy. Both pass rushes had good period on the few pass plays. Red zone drills now. Tua throws a strike to Gesicki. Looks like it's going to be a 20-yard touchdown, but the DB does a great job to separate the hands for a pass breakup. Malcolm Perry takes a carry behind the block of Kindley for a 15-yard touchdown. So Kindley was opening up holes today. It's clear Kindley was opening up holes today. Malcolm Brown takes a carry behind the block of Kindley for a 15-yard touchdown. Tua to Gaskin for a gain of 8. All these plays are being run from the 15-yard line. Tua to Grant for a touchdown. Good footwork on the throw from an awkward angle. Nasty juke move by Jakeem Grant before the goal line. Malcolm Brown again behind the block of Kindley and Jackson for a touchdown. This one from 10 yards out. Javon Holland drives on the Dalton throw for a pass breakup. Nearly picked it in the end zone. Ball was on the 10-yard line to start. Bears fans next to us in the stands after the red zone period come on defense. These are the starters. Dolphins scored on 4 of the 6 plays. Jacoby Brissett flips it to Chris Myrick, who turns the corner for a TD. Igbenogany stays on a slow developing route and pins the receiver to the end line. Ball sails out of bounds, incomplete. He's been strong today. Now it's Gaskin getting some room. Robert Hunt moved a man off the spot, and Gaskin surges ahead for a 6, give or take. Tua throws a strike to Adam Shaheen under pressure. DB was right on his back, but the ball was perfectly thrown. TD, oohs and ahs from the bleachers on the 15-yard touchdown pass. So there you go, oohs and ahs from Bears spectators showing some love to Tua Tagovailoa. So he was obviously making some nice throws, right? Continuing on here. Good pocket starts to break down. Good pocket starts to break down. Tua climbs, resets, throws off balance for Matt Collins, who toe taps right at the pylon. That was pure dominance from the first team offense in the red zone period. That was the most impressive period from my eyes for the O-line all camp. Opened massive holes in the run game, and Tua had all day to throw. One or two instances where pressure arrived. Tua got it out quick for completions. There are a lot of Bears. Here you go. This shows you that he wasn't having that bad of a day that people are trying to make it out to be. All right. There are a lot of Bears families here with one kid in the group wearing a Tua jersey. The Aqua Webb represented in Chi-Town. One dad explaining to his boy the quick release of Fields. The kid wearing a Khalil Mack jersey says, "Yeah, but did you see Tua?" So, I mean, you tell me. Continuing on. 7-on-7s. Tua finds Gesicki for about 15 yards. Continuing on 7-on-7s. Tua has 3 completions on 3 attempts to Hollins, Gesicki, and Grant. 7-on-7 defense now. Duke Riley goes up high for a pass breakup. Ball nearly picked by Jamal Perry on the descent. Bears defense gets back to pass breakups on balls from Brissett to Ford and Merritt. 7-on-7, Clayton Fledgem stays step for step on a deep ball and gets a breakup. 7-on-7, Byron Jones in tight coverage for an incompletion. Bears defense responds in that period. 2 short gains from Tua to Waddle and Hollins. Next balls are pass breakups. Tua throws up in the middle to Gesicki, who makes a one-handed catch, and he's off. Would have been tough for the defense to get him before he scores for about 70 yards. So there you go. Bears defense stacks up a Gaskin run and then forces a short complete to Waddle before a quick completion to Robert Foster that would have moved the chains on 2nd and 6. Cameron Tom leads Salvin Ahmed for a run that springs the back to the second level. Shifty run in about 8 yards before first contact arrived. Brissett quick rip to Ford to move the chains. Timing and rhythm on those quick setup and throw plays has been sharp from both units on Miami offense today. Gaskin gets outside and Alec Ogletree puts a big lick on him. Gaskin pops up and gets back to the middle. Brissett completes to Ford. Ford's caught a million balls this camp. Dolphins had a chance as a big play on Jakeem Grant came open down the field, but the throw was short and Jakeem comes back to the catch. He can't corral it. They'll want that one back. Throw goes a bit high for Hollins, who tried to pull it down with one hand, but could not. Tua not pleased with the throw. Next play gets it out to Shaheen, who turns the corner for a nice gain. Emmanuel Ogbah pressure led to an errant throw that went backwards from Dalton. Guess we'll call that a fumble. Tua comes back to back with completions to Gaskin. Both of them were for first downs. Blitzers flash, and Tua fires it before the blitz arrives for a completion and a first down to Gesicki. Tua loading up for a deep shot to Foster, who got free, but Angelo Blackson gets in for a sack. Jamal Perry drives on a deep pass over the middle for a pass breakup. Jared Dokes rips through a big hole off the blocks of Robert Jones and Adam Pankey. Brissett finds Ahmed over the middle, who makes some moves for a chunk of yards. Brissett to Foster for about 20. Tough contested catch for a good and a good job standing in, throwing under duress by Brissett. Nick Needham in tight coverage on an incompletion to the sideline. Brissett, feeling it this period, finds Ethan Carter for a nice gain to the outside. Tino Ellis drives on a pass and lays out, looks like a pick. Dolphins celebrate, but it didn't survive the ground. Tua drives one outside to Waddle. Defender tries to undercut, but cannot. It's a big chunk gain. Wilkins and Ogbah had sacks in the last team period for Miami. Jalen Waddle gains the edge on a nice block from Jakeem Grant. Red zone failed exchange between Tua and Gaskin. Khalil Mack recovers. Malcolm Brown powers into the end zone behind the block of Jesse Davis and Adam Shaheen. Brown breaks out the McGregor walk. Tua comes back with a touchdown to Robert Foster. These red zone periods have been all about the defense. Emmanuel Ogbah gets in for another sack. Gesicki scoops a throw off the ground from Brissett. Refs rule it incomplete. Gesicki seems to think he caught it. Goal line, Malcolm powers through. He's been in the end zone a lot today. So, yeah. And that basically finished up the periods. So, and now I'm going to just give you what some other people said. Let's see what this is what Omar said. Tagovailoa was giving a pep talk to Solomon Kindley before practice. Kylan Johnson had a nice breakup off a pass to a back in one-on-ones. Van Ginkel and Brennan Scarlett were the starting outside linebackers today. Damian Williams had a nice first down run. Tua had a scramble to his left for a decent game. Jakeem Grant, Noah Benogany, and Jalen Waddle were handling kickoffs today. Tua threw a touchdown pass to Gesicki, and Tabor knocked it out while Gesicki was celebrating. Incompletion in 11-11 red zone. Great pass, though, on the money. Coleman, as we talked about earlier, had a breakup in the end zone. Jakeem had a catch that got the offense to the 2-yard line. Waddle had to break up a possible 2 interception. He still hasn't thrown one in joint practices, and then he ended up doing it. Tua just threaded a touchdown pass to Adam Shaheen in red zone 11-11. Offense celebrates. Eric Rowe and Komet got into their scrap. Dalton threw a big pass to Javon Wims in 7-on-7 that totally carved up Miami defense. Javon Holland was the closest defender. He says Solomon Kindley got killed during one-on-ones. Adam Pankey is consistently winning one-on-one reps. Might be time for a call-up to left guard. Gesicki had a nice middle-of-the-field reception from 2 on the first play of 11-11s. Eric Rowe then had a breakup. Fields was slinging it today. John Vea Johnson had a nice 30-yard gain against the twos. Miami's offense doesn't just look in sync today, and this time it can't be blamed on the offensive line. They aren't doing well, but they aren't doing bad, so I don't know what he means by that. Jakeem is wide open downfield, and Tua throws hot trash his way. And I showed you the article where he said he underthrew it, but on his timeline, he got blown up for this. He said hot trash, and he said Jakeem slows down to catch it and then drops it. Shaheen, nice downfield catch. He said Shaheen had a good day. Van Ginkel batted down a pass at the line of scrimmage. Kirk Merritt had a drop from Brissett on a pass that was gunned in there. Tua, nice completion for 15 yards to Waddle. Van Ginkel flushed out Dalton from the pocket, then chased him down. Yeah, and then everything else we basically already gone over here. Brian Flores just got into somebody's ass about knocking it off, was talking to a lineman. See, and here, we just showed a Bears report that said it was an even day. We own the first half, they own the second half. He said Bears are dominant of the day and begun celebrating. You can see the Dolphins are getting salty. And Van Ginkel ends up with a ball, but Omar didn't see how he got it. And then Larnell Coleman got kicked off the line by Flores for getting into it with linemen. So, and then just some quick hits from another Bears reporter here. He said that pass breakup from Kirk Merritt that didn't catch was Kindle Vildor. He said Tagovailoa had a nice pass to Shane for a touchdown, and Austin Calitro was in coverage. So yeah, nothing. Mario Edwards had a big hit on Salvin Ahmed today. Nothing really that we haven't talked about. So, yeah. I'm just trying to see here. Yeah, nothing now. Nothing we didn't talk about in the Athletic article because he works for the Athletic. So, I mean, it all depends on whose articles you want to take to heart here. So, I mean, no one's more in depth than Travis. So, it is what it is. All right, let's get into some highlights from today. Let me just make sure that I didn't miss anything. No, I did not miss anything today. I've got all the highlights. I got about 10 highlights to go over, so we'll go over the highlights right now. All right, let's do it. And then I'll open it up for a little bit to you guys. But only for a little bit. I'm only going for another half hour or so here. All right, let's get into the highlights, the video highlights from today. All right. Here's here was the interior of the offensive line for the Miami Dolphins getting themselves ready for practice today. Here were the Dolphins, just a view of the field for all y'all to see so you can picture what it was like. This is the field before practice started today. Getting ready, get out there. Here is Chris Myrick and that new tight end they signed, Meyer, catching some passes before practice starts from the coaches. That's how much we think of them. We don't even give them a quarterback to throw the ball to them. Tells you where they are on the depth chart, huh? Here are the running backs working the pads for some footwork. It's all the running backs. Ball protection too. That's what you see. Hitting the ball and trying to hit over top, then underneath. So just trying to get them to hold on to the ball while working on their footwork. Shout out to Patrick Laird for not slipping today. That guy's cut city, bro. I'm telling you that. Here are Terrell Bonds and Justin Coleman working on their hands. Some hand fighting drills. All right, I think that's all the non-passing stuff. Let me just make sure. All right, here is Matt Skura. I believe this is in a one-on-one rep, and he wins. Kind of on skates a little bit, though. Kept him to the outside, though. Didn't go backwards, at least. Arced him out, so that's good to see. Here is Jacoby Brissett to the homie Matt Collins. Someone buy EM a Matt Collins jersey. ASAP. Here is... Ooh, I want to save that one. We'll save that one for last. Here is Isaiah Ford catching a ball from Jacoby Brissett. It was in the one-on-ones. That was during the one-on-ones. Just so everyone's aware. Here is Tua with our in the red zone drills to Gesicki. Just warming up. Here is Tua Tagovailoa again working the red zone a little bit, warming up, getting ready for practice. One more time. Here's Tua Tagovailoa to Jalen Waddle as they continue to dice it up. On the money. One more time. And then our final highlight for today is Jalen Waddle absolutely breaking Eddie Jackson's ankles. I think Eddie Jackson is still on the field looking to see if he can find his ankles right now. Watch the false step to the outside. Boop! Look at that twitch. Look at that twitch, how he sold that. That is how you sell a step to the outside. One more time. Whoop. Oh, he turned him inside out. Like, wow. You know, I highlighted his twitch and his route running when on my big board about how good this guy is. And look at it on Eddie Jackson is, you know, he's no slouch. Woo! All day, baby. Love to see it. One more time. Just because it's so beautiful. Where are you going? Whoop! Goodbye. Perfect. Good play by Jalen Waddle. So I'm gonna open it up to you guys for about 25 minutes. So I'll drop the link right now for you guys because I'm gonna be back tomorrow night. We'll do like a I'm not gonna do the normal game preview like I do during the season. Like if any of you have been around since last year, like I do my keys to victory for the offense and the defense. And then I also do my matchup to watch and everything like that. I'll do that like for actual games. I'm not going to do it for preseason games because it's not going to be the ones and such. So I'll do that when we get into the regular season. But tomorrow night we'll do a little like pre-game little open show for you guys, and I'll probably do that for every preseason game where you guys can come on and talk about stuff. So one more time, dropping the link again. I'm only like live for like another 24-25 minutes, so all right, just so everyone's aware, because I just recorded an hour podcast before I went live here, so I'm tired. Logan, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, man?
How you doing, bro?
Good. Waddle looked pretty disgusting on that play, man.
It's ridiculous, bro.
It was great.
And this crazy thing, he wasn't even going full speed. That's what's even more crazy, bro.
Yeah, I liked it.
That's a real far cry from what we had last year. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and I'm glad our running game showed up today because we were talking about it yesterday, not showing up, but I'm glad they bounced back. So starting to gel. Hopefully they continue to gel.
Yeah.
So.
Dylan, what's going on?
What's going on, man? Chilling. Yeah, I was just real quick, man. That's why, like I just heard about this little online beef thing or whatever you want to call it from you. I don't know, man. That's why I store all this information in a little box so I can verify myself, because you never know who's saying, what's real or what's not.
Oh, the Travis and Omar and Alan
with the back and back and forth stuff.
The passive aggressive stuff, basically.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have subscriptions to all those publications, so I only get a couple perspectives. But that's why I don't put too much stock into any of it until I can verify myself.
Yeah. Todd, what's going on, dude?
How you doing, man?
Not too bad. Another day, another dollar, bro.
Yeah, I just can't wait for the game, man. That's when I want to see it.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to see what this O-line's got. You know what I mean?
Yep, and I want our boy, because I've been wanting him ever since the beginning, Kirk, to actually show up in the game.
Yeah, he's gone into a little bit of a slump this week so far. So hopefully he can step it back up, man. Mauricio, what's going on, buddy?
Just hanging out, man. I'm just excited for the season. Can't wait.
Hey, Reason, also I want Grant to show up and show out so he get a little bit more trade value.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hope he returns a kick. Red Comment, what's going on, bro?
I don't know. Just a little salty about the Patriots winning.
It's preseason. It don't mean shit.
Preseason, yeah.
Yeah, but still, I'm still salty whenever the Patriots win.
Yeah. I mean, they had some solid moments in that game. So,
but Mac Jones looked like the checkdown king.
Dude, he had that nice bomb that the receiver dropped though in the end zone.
Yeah,
you got to call that throw what it was. That was perfectly.
That was a good throw, though.
So,
yeah, I mean, it's his first preseason game,
Yeah, like dink and dunk master probably after that because I stopped watching at like 9 o'clock, so I just watched a little bit. I was going and I was watching some of that Field of Dreams baseball game too, because the stadium.
If Mac Jones has more weapons than Tua's ever dreamed about having, with all the tight ends they brought in there and everything.
Yeah, Jonnu Smith had
we got better weapons than them though right now.
Right now, but Tua's still not playing with them. He's getting used to playing with the third or the fourth and fifth receivers.
I'm not. It's whatever. Jonnu Smith and isn't Hunter Henry out right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all he has is Jonnu Smith and Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah, he doesn't have much.
Yeah.
Jonnu Smith had a couple nice plays.
today. Yeah, I'm not really worried about that. Now, what he has that we don't have is a rushing attack and a solidified offensive line.
Yeah.
Like, you can make the argument that Damian Harris and Sony Michel are better than anything we have in the backfield right now.
Agreed.
So,
just real quick, who would y'all rather have, Cam Newton or Mac Jones, when we play them on the first game?
give me Mac.
I kind of want to have
Rookie all day.
I
I'll
kind
be
of want to
honest
see
with
Mac
you.
in there too, honestly.
I'll be honest with you. It doesn't matter to me because I think Cam Newton should turn over machine too.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah,
Cam looks a lot worse though.
The thing is, though, Cam's seen a lot more of the stuff we're going to throw at him than Mac's ever seen.
yeah.
And Mac's going to be more prone to mistakes. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you missed it earlier over on Larry's channel. We had a Jet guy come in, and he's talking about how good Zach Wilson's going to be and this. I'm like, who does Zach Wilson have to throw to? Jeff piped in. He goes, hey, at least 2 times a year he's going to have X to throw to.
Yeah. Hey, though, he's got Mims and Elijah Moore, though. He's got targets, man. But Zach Wilson's
line is getting better.
Yeah, he's been struggling though, like hard right now.
Everybody's been struggling, but Tua in camp so far.
Yeah,
even
Lawrence is struggling.
A
lot of these guys. Yeah, a lot of these guys are struggling. That's what I was gonna say. Is a lot of these guys are struggling right now.
Yeah. What's going on, Cash? How you doing, bro?
I'm hanging in, man. I'm sorry I'm late to the party. Just wanted to, come check in, see what's going on. Seen, there were a couple slots open, so I wanted to jump in.
Hey, Reason, I ran into a Dolphins fan up here in Jacksonville. I told him about your channel, so he's gonna be popping in.
Appreciate it, bro.
Dude,
Word of mouth.
I was like, finally a Dolphins fan in Jacksonville. This is awesome.
You don't see many in Jacksonville? I mean, obviously, you probably see more Jags fans.
For reasons in Canada.
No, I see more Dallas fans. I see more Dallas fans in Jacksonville than I do Jacksonville fans.
Fascinating.
America's team.
Right? That's what I say.
Whatever.
Hey,
I watched that Hard Knocks, and I was bored to hell in that first episode. Like last year's Chargers episode, I've never been that bored watching a Hard Knocks.
But hey, I like Jimmy Johnson's speech at the Hall of Fame. He goes, Zach Thomas needs to get in.
Zach Thomas, yeah. Richmond Webb needs to be in, bro. What are we talking about?
I agree. I agree.
Everyone sleeps on Richmond. Like Richmond should be getting in before Zach, man.
You cannot talk about the '90s offensive tackles without bringing up Richmond.
Richmond Webb, yeah.
Bro, he's on the
all-decade team.
He's on the
and I'm not being
NFL all-decade team
either.
No, it's just fact, bro. Like,
the
only reason is because you don't have tangible stats. You can base how good a tackle is. You know what I mean? But like,
you know what playoff games and no
that's exactly it. That's exactly
reason. You know what else it is? Is Richmond is a humble and quiet guy. He doesn't blow his own horn. Doesn't go out there trying to say I need to be in.
That's
He's
true
just
too.
Real humble, real quiet man.
Yeah. That shouldn't matter though.
Like it shouldn't
matter if you're a loudmouth.
But with him not putting his name out there, he needs
same thing for Zach Thomas though.
I mean, well, I don't know. Yeah, I get that.
I'll be honest with you. I think Zach was better than Junior.
Say out.
I think
I don't know. We might have to get down to splitting hairs.
Oh my god!
And I think he was better than Urlacher. Urlacher just had more sacks, but Zach was a tackling machine.
No, I just saw the stat line.
Oh, I thought something big dropped.
I know, right?
No, man.
What happened?
If people were,
we got Michael Thomas.
If people remember, no, we're not getting Michael Thomas.
Dude, I'm talking shit. Stop.
Yo, Ramondre Stevenson was my seventh running back on my big board, and I just saw that he had 117 yards and 2 touchdowns tonight.
Yeah, he scored.
Yeah, he did a 80-something yard touchdown at the end of the game.
Yo, if motherfucking sorry, but like if they traded for Michael Thomas, man, I mean, come on, like as great of a player as he is, I mean, like, what are you
He's
doing?
not a
now?
great player.
I mean,
He
I
was
think
a
he's. I think he's.
scheme-oriented player.
Yeah, he's a scheme oriented.
Yeah.
He comes from a scheme that basically manufactures space for wide receivers at a ridiculous
Hey,
rate.
I know everybody.
That's
says
where Jamar
speed.
Chase needs to go. That's where
That's
Jamar Chase
fair.
needs to go.
I
But I
know
mean-
everybody
Yeah,
talks about
he ain't
speed
looking
is
too hot.
not everything. The man runs a 4.6.
So does Isaiah. Well, Jerry Rice ran a
0-4.
4.6.
Yeah, but Jerry Rice
Either way,
knew how to separate with his routes.
we don't need
Excellent
it.
route
We
runner.
don't need to be doing that.
Well, they're not gonna. The contract of Michael Thomas alone is gonna turn us off.
I mean,
Yeah,
it would
absolutely.
just be silly all around. Like, I mean, because
I was
we
just
have like
talking shit.
15 guys.
We
No, I'm
need a
not
tackle.
coming at. I'm not coming at you. I'm not coming at you. I'm just because I know that was a thing that was put out like recently, and it's like, dude, come on, why even entertain
Oh, I
that?
missed
We have
that
like
one, man.
15 receivers on the damn roster.
I don't think
right
we
now.
need
Yeah.
him. No doubt. No doubt.
I bet everybody just waiting for
I
us
would
to
rather-
cut players, bro.
I would rather go for another corner like
From
CJ
receiver, at
Henderson
least,
if he's on the trading block.
We need a tackle.
Yeah.
No,
ASAP.
tackle's
That
number
is
one.
terrible. See, you see, reason you just set me off by even just saying that.
That's
We
what we
have
need.
spent why?
Well,
We are
because-
3 years deep now. We're
Well,
3
look-
years
Well, they
deep.
can
How we
spend-
don't
they can
got
spend-
one yet?
Because they expend all the capital, but they're not good at evaluating.
yeah,
That's
right.
what
It's,
I have said that. I have said that. I catch all the shows. But I do think that as an organization, we are not too good at the drafting. I think we're okay with the developing the players and all of that good stuff. But when we miss, we fucking can I say that? We miss.
The problem is too, they've created a defense that's a mixture of veterans and rookies that's now
Yep.
ready to win. Problem with the offensive line is they've gone with a total youth movement, and no way it's going to catch up to where the defense is right now.
Is right.
And it kind of contradicts the whole win now mode that you've set up the defense to be.
I
Like-
want to do that.
Spend like, you know what? If we were gonna, I said this yesterday. If you're gonna draft Jalen Waddle at 6, why'd you spend the $10 million on Fuller? Allocate it toward Corey Linsley.
And I haven't seen
Get
him yet.
a top center, and then go from there, man. Or try and pry someone like
Lindsley is what we should have done in
That's
Oh,
what-
yeah, that's what I just
Hey,
that's
said.
what he
yeah.
just said.
Let me ask you something. Do you think we signed Fuller because they were in on Watson?
I think that was part of the reason why.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
But it was,
definitely part of
also if they don't get Watson, we need natural separators, and he's exactly that.
Yes.
Now, here's
Yeah, I
the
mean, it's a
thing.
combination.
I'm all about getting Schwartz at tackle. I'm
If he's
all
healthy,
about
when he's healthy.
Yeah, when he's healthy. That would be a perfect addition for us.
And I would look at Schwartz and Ricky Wagner right now, free agents.
I mean,
And
how
if
long
you have
is
to trade, isn't there a Kansas City guy there that we can get, a youngster?
yeah?
Well, the guy I
Niang.
want, Lucas Niang.
Yeah.
But you could try and trade for him or Mike Remmers right now. Mike Remmers is a veteran.
What do they need?
When
What
is-
does Casey need?
Well, you could probably dangle Grant in that because they're always looking to upgrade their receiving
game.
core with speed because they lost Sammy Watkins, right?
Well, they lost
Yeah,
Watkins, yep. But that's two short receivers they'd be taking on.
That's-
Doesn't matter. You got Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
get
Force
open.
multiplier.
and they're gonna
Force
have
multiplier.
Watch
that
gonna
guy.
Grant have a 1,000
You know
yard
what would
season.
piss me off is if Grant went there and never dropped passes the way he does here. That would piss me off.
I mean,
I
That's
don't know.
That's
Look,
Dolphins luck, though. That's how it goes.
I actually went to Sunday's practice. I'm not a proponent of keeping Grant. He's done some things, some flashes. I ain't gonna lie, man. When I went to practice, he dropped I think it was a 7-on-7 drill. He dropped a touchdown pass from Tua. And this was Sunday, but after he dropped that first touchdown pass, he was eating them alive. Jakeem
Hey,
Grant.
Well, today he
And
balled. Today he
I
balled with a
was
perfectly thrown
disappointed.
ball,
I was
and he got
like,
intercepted
this
because of him.
dude. I was like, you better not make this team.
Hey,
Yeah, but
you know,
you
He
had-
was doing his thing.
Today another interception was on him, right in the hands. He bobbled it. defender
Ah.
made the pick.
You know
All
who we're
right.
missing?
And Charles
You know
Bader
who-
makes a good point.
Typical.
Grant and Mahomes both played at Texas Tech together.
True. You know who we're missing on this panel? Where's our Chicago guy?
Oh, Liam, he's in
Yeah.
like South Korea, bro.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's like
Was he probably asleep?
he's probably working right now because he's a
Yeah,
teacher.
yeah. He's probably awake. Yeah.
He's what is he in the service?
Or, yeah.
Because it's 12 o'clock, so he's probably at class right now.
Dude,
midday,
he
it's
would be
midday.
awesome to have on right now.
Midday.
Yeah, he probably checks them out like posts or whatever. But he's a teacher, so he's working in the day.
And just to kind of circle everything back, at least from the Sunday practice that I went to, because I was actually there live. You know what I mean? And I got
too. That
to
was
see
great.
it for right. I read all of the articles
Me too.
but I got to see it with my own eyes, you know, and
That's what I'm waiting
I
on.
feel, you know, I don't necessarily dissect film every day, you know what I mean, you know, like reason, but I feel like I know good shit when I see it. And the
Yes,
Sunday that I went, man, 2 is looking good.
Thank you, bro. Yo, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question since you were there live?
Yes.
When we were there at the end, why did they have to run sprints? Is it because our offense messed up? What was the deal with the sprints?
That's just the thing that they do, man.
Just conditioning.
Yes.
Really?
I
At the
just
end of
think it's-
practice all the time, really?
I think
Yo,
it's a Flores
you know
thing.
what was
Yeah,
great?
that's definitely a Flores.
You know what's
thing.
great?
Yeah.
I love how they had us in the stands and they had the first team offense against the first team defense in front of us.
Yeah, right.
And they had the
on
second string and they had the
right,
second
yeah,
string on the other
far
field. Bro,
Yeah,
it was great.
What
Yo,
I actually go.
Did you get a chance to go by the shop and cop some stuff? Because they were offering us some good deals, bro.
I mean, a lot of stuff was free.
Yo, I know, right? It was great, bro. Listen, when I went,
Alright, starting to
I
get
was like
jealous
the
now.
first one there.
I
bro.
mean,
Right?
I'm jealous.
Listen, I was the first one there, like early in the
Right.
morning, and I found because I have the newer throwbacks that we wear, the alternates of Dan Marino.
Right.
So I found a Mitchell and Ness snapback hat of Dan Marino, like of
In
25
one of
years
the
silver.
booths or the stands.
It was in the stand of the team shop, the official
Right.
team
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah.
They were doing 50% off hats,
Well, I didn't see that.
30%
Well, I
off
knew
jerseys.
they were doing that, but I didn't see the
But
Nest hat.
It
no.
was the only one I found. Bro, I'm about to get on live camera. Bro. Let me show.
I
I'm gonna
did
show
get
you guys.
there a
I'm
little
gonna
late.
show you guys.
How much did you pay for it? Just rub it in.
Dude, I paid. Check this
Just
out.
rub it in.
It was 50% off. It was a $40 hat. I paid $20.
20 bucks.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
show y'all boys. Look. Give me a second. Look at this hat. Okay, that's
Oh
the front.
shit.
Oh, the silver
Hold on.
season, the patch.
Yeah. Hold on. I came in. Okay, there we go. All right, now check this out. Look at the back.
All right, I am jealous.
That's a dope hat.
Yeah.
I don't
So,
even wear
hold on.
hats, but that's a dope hat.
Here
Hey,
we go.
all of us that aren't in Miami
I love
that
hats.
that are jealous right now. Okay, I'm up in
Yeah,
Jacksonville.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I live in Palm Beach and I'm mad. You know, I I didn't
And
go
see,
to
that's
that
where
way.
That's where I'm from, is West Palm.
So,
Oh man,
if-
what's up?
Go ahead, Logan.
yeah. So I heard like someone say like I hope Grant like returns touchdowns so it increases trade value for a tackle or something. But
That was me joking.
oh, okay. I was like, yo, I feel like they would have to give up more picks with just and him for a tackle.
Well,
And
it's
that
not
would just
just
be really
him.
irritating.
It's part of the package.
Mm.
I don't think we're gonna trade him. I think he's gonna make the
He's
team.
on the block right now.
Yeah, he's still on the block, right? He's been on the block pretty much.
No,
all off.
when
No,
No,
he's on
when
the trading
we-
block, legit.
he's on the trading block right now. When this
Since
team
when, though?
decided, I was told. I can tell you the exact date. I was told too.
Does the package include picks or just other players?
If it's
No,
been
I was
over,
told he's the one we're dangling for a tackle right now.
if it's,
I was told this Saturday.
I
Mm.
mean, I don't know. I like Jakeem
okay.
Grant from
Maybe
the
that's why he balled out Sunday.
I don't know. Like I like him from the underdog perspective, and he's a good returner or whatever. But like, is anybody really gonna just like trade? Nobody's gonna trade like
for a
Grant.
Well, you package it. You guys aren't getting to the point. You package him with stuff.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But
I understand
what,
that, but like, why do we have to give up?
Who and what?
My
Yeah.
Well, it all
frustration
depends
is
on the guy you're trading for.
my frustration is we
The
already
whole reason they're
packaged.
putting them up there is because he's the only one that on the trade that they want to put on the trade block that they can sell as an all pro.
Because he is.
Is there any tackles?
My
Is there any
frustration
tackles actually being dangled right now?
I haven't heard anything about teams they've talking to and specific players they're targeting yet.
My frustration with the package is like they have to give up more picks when we already gave up all these picks for Eichenberg and he's not even working out a tackle.
Right. I was just about to circle
Yeah,
back.
but you're giving it up for a
That's
proven
what's frustrating.
commodity. The difference is you're giving it up for a proven commodity.
We should not be doing that.
So
let
me ask you guys a question. Are you guys satisfied if he does win the left guard spot, or since we
Liam Eichenberg is 6'5". Liam Eichenberg is 6'5", 302 pounds, and does not have the anchor to be a long-term solution.
He's got to be a tackle.
Yeah,
exactly.
Now,
that's why
I read an article today. They said the only reason Liam Eichenberg is playing guard right now is he's having trouble adjusting to the right side.
To the right side, yeah. We talked
Exactly.
about
Yeah, I put that on the Patreon, bro.
Yeah.
That's one of the parts I put on the Patreon.
Exactly.
And so that's a direct answer. But, when it comes to the offensive line in general, I'm not satisfied until they show it.
Exactly. They got to show it, man.
And live action, though, right? Like the preseason, we're going to get probably a couple series of the starters in this one. That'll be a puzzle piece that we can, fit into the picture to make it clearer. But we're not going to know for sure, right? For sure, until it's games in the regular season when things go into the books, because then we'll actually have legit shit to evaluate, right?
Well, it's interesting that when Kindley goes in at left guard, we can all of a sudden run the ball, and now you got Eichenberg who couldn't do that, and then you drafted this guy, and he's not even being able to start at right tackle because he can't do the kick slide, so.
And
it's just
we
annoying
drafted
to me
him because he was supposed to have all of this flexibility.
Right.
Well,
and he's supposed to be.
No one ever talked about him being. No one except me really ever suggested them moving him into guard. He was supposed to be their answer at right tackle. That's what he's supposed to be.
That is it.
Well,
okay, we're going to move him to guard. I get it, but that's if we already had a tackle who has that spot solidified, and we can move him to the guard so we can shore that up. But we don't have a right tackle, and we have to move him because he can't
but what I'm
play
saying is,
right tackle.
If they had to shore up guard, you wouldn't even have drafted this guy.
So
he's not built. He's not built like a guard. He doesn't have the anchor to be a guard. You're 302 pounds. Guards are like 320, 325 at least, man.
If you're Kindley, 340.
What is that saying for Kindley? That is not looking good.
Yeah, it's because of his conditioning.
I'm not happy with the center position either. And I'm sorry for it might seem like I'm throwing shade, you know what I mean? But we're getting glowing, reviews about Waddle and Tua is flashing, but there's still some things. Flores is still Flores, and the stories that we heard about Flores are not fake. You know what I mean? So he's still Flores. There's still some things, that I got my eye on.
You know what irritates me is that draft. Because if it was me, I would with my second first round pick, I would have taken Cesar Ruiz. Then if I wanted Austin Jackson, I could have still gotten him towards the end of the first round.
Has anybody heard?
How do you guys feel about Jesse Davis at right tackle though? You guys are comfortable with that? Or not?
Again, I'm not comfortable until they prove it. They got to prove it to me.
He's not really that big of an issue, but it's just the fact that we spent the draft capital to get Eichenberg to start there.
Yes.
And Jesse Davis is
not ready.
That's what bothers me about it. It doesn't really bother me that Jesse Davis
when he was at right tackle and left tackle last year was actually, especially when he was at left tackle, was actually more than serviceable.
Hey, I will be honest. I would rather Jesse Davis be out there than a guy who's having problems with his kick.
Amen, brother.
Onto his blind side.
I agree
especially since this season, since the scrutiny.
Well, it's not just his kick slide. It's like he's got Your lead foot now is your right hand.
Right.
You lead with your hands totally
Exactly.
different now. Everything
is
reversed.
the
Yeah,
opposite.
flipped. It's
But to
completely
It's
put
all
flipped.
him
about
on
comfort.
But to put him onto his blind side, I want him to be completely
I would rather him
comfortable.
than Eichenberg.
I mean, some people can naturally do it, and some people can't. Obviously, he is the guy who can't do it naturally. Which
You know why?
kinda
You know why
disappointing.
Pinay's having no problem doing it right now? Is because all off season, Pinay was practicing at right tackle. Like there were reports coming out of him practicing leading with the right side of his body. Liam Eichenberg didn't expect to get drafted as a right tackle. So it's a
Right.
process.
I mean, but
right
see,
now.
that's
So it's
it
coming
again.
back
So I
To their
guess
evaluation process and prioritizing and why they're taking
of our front
certain
office.
certain
No
players.
one's really talked anything negative about Dieter, so I don't like. Is he really a concern? Because no one's
he's
saying
That
okay.
is a
When we
concern.
were on yeah,
To
Sunday.
Is he
me,
just
that is
it
a
wasn't too
concern.
bad,
so
like
is
I
it just
said.
a concern if he can like identify blitzes and point them out? Like is that
It's
it
me.
or
I
Well,
don't know if
it's
he has
me
a
for a
We'll get
concern
into your-
because
standpoint yet.
if we're for me it's a concern because if we're trying to see what Dieter has as a center, that means we have no center.
I don't know.
You see
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying
I
about
think
that?
like I'm
Dieter's been
kind
here
of
3 or 4 years, right? He
happy
couldn't
about
make
it.
it as a guard. That's where we drafted him. He didn't cut it, and now we're trying to see where he fits before we cut him loose. Because
No,
if he
see, I
doesn't
don't-
fit here, he's
I
not going to be
don't
on
think
the team.
that.
I don't think so
I
because
think
they
he
signed
showed
Matt
some
Skura.
improvement. He should have shown some improvement if they would not have put him in the center.
And they signed Matt
That's how
Skura,
bad
who's a veteran.
Skura is.
Exactly what I'm
That's how
saying.
bad he
They
is.
they probably put him in a competition with Mascara, and they figured
he's
out
Look,
real
better.
at
quick.
the end of the day,
I'm just trying to be positive here. That's all I'm trying
I'm
to
trying to
do.
be positive as
I
well,
think-
bro. I
Hey,
feel
I
you.
think this-
Look, and again, I don't want to be Debbie Downer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't-
But there's
No,
always
look,
the
look, look.
yin
At
to
the
the
end of the-
yang, you know,
Yeah.
and some things are glaring to me.
So-
The fact
Yeah.
that we're still looking for a tackle, that's
the-
an issue
So
to
let
me.
me ask you guys.
Oh, yeah,
Let me ask you guys a
me too.
question. Let me ask.
All right, hold on.
Line.
I got
Yeah.
to get out of here too. So
Okay, boom.
because I don't have time, bro. I said I got to reach the 2 hour. I'm already exhausted, and I got to do final thoughts.
We'll go
And
at this in the backstage.
I'll be back tomorrow night, anyways. Logan, your final thoughts.
Yeah. Hopefully they can continue to grow that O line, man. Hopefully Dieter works out and fins up. I was trying to make it short.
Boom.
Dylan, your final thoughts.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short too. Thanks for having me. Preseason, real quick. Is there anything tomorrow? Is there a walkthrough or
No.
anything? No. Okay, so then Saturday, pumped for that, and fins up, man. Let's see what we actually got in some real game action.
There you go.
Cash, your final thoughts.
Final thoughts is, again, I'm sorry, Finn fans, you know, for being a Debbie Downer, but you know there are plenty of positive things.
Watch my show.
I definitely want to build on that. You know what I mean? But I just definitely want to keep an open mind with the entire process, the entire picture. You know what I mean? So fins up. You know, let's do it. Tua looks great.
Red Comet, your final thoughts.
I'm glad the offensive line bounced back today, and of course, Waddle being Waddle, of course.
Oh my God, is that it?
Todd, your final thoughts.
Hey, I cannot wait to see our receiving core at full speed this week. You know, it's game day, boys. Get ready to have fun Saturday.
Are we even going to see? We probably won't even see.
You're not going to see Parker, Wilson, or Fuller.
Parker. Yeah.
Mauricio, your final thoughts.
Just to piggyback off of Todd, man. Yeah, our receivers at full level speed. I cannot wait for that. I'm ready for the season. I'm ready for preseason. Just to see somebody get hit. You know what I'm saying? So fence up and let's do
No
this.
injuries. No injuries.
No injuries.
All right,
yes,
guys.
sir.
I'll be back tomorrow night, and I'll be doing an open roundtable show. And then I'll be back Saturday at 1 p.m. for live reaction to the Bears Dolphins preseason. Until then, everyone stay happy, healthy, safe, and blessed. Fins up all day, every day.